Thank you for joining me on a new and third episode of Flash Knockdown, the show that engages with people of the combat sports world. I'm pleased to say, and representing MMA, we have top 20 UK and Ireland amateur bantamweights, Sam Kelly. How are you, Sam?
I'm brilliant, thanks, mate. You?
I'm very well. Thank you for asking. Good day so far?
Yeah, not so bad, mate. It's sunny, innit? So
very sunny, tropical out there.
Yeah, it is,
good.
Mate. It's like being abroad.
Love it. So before we get stuck in, Sam, could you just share with the viewers a little bit about your MMA career, the gym that you represent, and how people can find you and your work, please?
Yeah, I probably first went to the MMA gym. Started training probably about 3 or 4 years ago now. At first I was a bit on and off. Like I'd go for a couple of weeks, then I wouldn't be there for 3 weeks, then I'd be there for a month, then I wouldn't be there for a week, all that stuff, letting excuses get in the way and all that. But then I proper knuckled down and made a few changes to my lifestyle and stuff like that, and then I managed to get to this stage where I could have a fight and loved it. So ever since then, it's just what I want to do, keep training, keep getting the fights in.
Good stuff. And the gym that you represent there, Sam?
Is a Blackledge MMA I represent, which is a top gym. You know, Tom's known, well recognised in the UK, proper pioneer of the sport. So he's always passing his knowledge on to all the lads and stuff, which is second to none, really. And I also train down at Real Grappling Manchester with Jamie Hay and Ian Butlin, people like that. And yeah, again, it's a good standard, great standard on the mats, good knowledge of good atmospheres. Can't really ask for more when you're training, really.
Cool. And finally, can you confirm your socials, please?
Instagram, which is Sam Kelly 94, and just Facebook, Sam Kelly. And I'm also on Twitter, just as Sam Kelly.
Awesome.
So follow me up.
Well, thank you for that, Sam. So are you ready for your flash choices?
Let's go for it.
Yeah? Okay. So this is the part of the show where I ask you 10 questions with 2 possible answers.
Yeah.
And you choose the one that best suits you in a flash. Got it?
Got it.
Okay, cool. So first one then, Sam. Michael Bisping or Conor McGregor?
Bisping.
Up kicks or uppercuts?
Gotta be up kicks off me.
MUFC or UFC?
MUFC.
David Haymaker Hay or Jamie Haymaker Hay?
The one and only Jamie Haymaker Hay.
Of course, of course. The best water boy, eh?
Yeah, great. Cracking lad.
Rear naked choke or guillotine choke?
Rear naked.
Ji-sung Park or GSP?
Ji-sung Park.
Workout 7 a.m. or 7 p.m?
I like to be an early bird and get it done, so 7 a.m.
Anthony Crawler or Scott Quigg?
Crawler.
Machine Gun Kelly or Gene Kelly?
Don't know who either of them are, so can't answer.
Okay, fair enough. and then the final one, Theatre of Dreams or Madison Square Gardens?
Well, I've never been to Madison Square Garden, so I'll have to say the Theatre of Dreams.
Fair enough, my man. How did you find that? Apart from question number 9, how did you find that?
Good, mate. Good.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. All right, so let's take it back to day number 1 then, Sam. Could you perhaps share your first recollection of martial arts, please?
I'd say I was all about football when I was growing up until I was about probably 18, 17, something like that. And then I remember hearing about UFC and stuff like that, and I ended up watching a lot of John Jones and Anderson Silva clips. And ever since then, it was just there in my head, constantly just thinking about it. But I probably didn't even start training until I was like 21. Too busy messing about, being a lad like young lads do, until I discovered it. I wish I would have got down and trained earlier, but I didn't have a clue where I'd done it or stuff like that. I just had an interest in it. But so I finally got myself into it though.
Good stuff.
That, really.
Good stuff. And who would you say influenced you in your early life, and how did that influence help you in your later life?
Well, like I say, because I wasn't into the fighting, I was all about football. So I had lads I used to play football with and a few managers that, that I looked up to. And my dad and people in my family, they all helped me out. And then until obviously I got onto the MMA and I started looking up to people in the MMA world and training with people who I respect and stuff. So yeah, like I say, majority of my life up to now has been football based, really.
Sure. That makes sense. So who do you look up to now then? I'm guessing the likes of maybe Jamie, the likes of Tom.
Yeah, definitely them two. Like Tom, obviously at the gym, look up to him, and Jamie's my best mate out of the gym as well. So yeah, me and Jamie do a lot of things together that don't even involve training, and we train together, obviously. So yeah, I look up to Jamie a lot. No,
that's good. He had a lot of positive things to say about you. I mean, in an interview recently, he cited that you were his inspiration for going back into competitive fighting again.
One of my lads, Sam Keller, who fights out of Blackledge as well, and I also coach. He's a fantastic young lad, and he really sort of made me want to fight again, just watching training and things like that.
Did you know that?
Well, yeah, well, what it was, when I had my first fight, he'd gone off the boil really and stopped training. And I know he's not afraid to admit it himself, so I'll tell you the story. And then I kept trying to get him to come to the gym, and there was come back down to the gym, and there were times when he'd have his bag packed and then he'd let me down last minute. And it was on the build up to the Lewis Lofthouse fight, and I managed to drag him out of me just running and stuff like that. And then he said that's the reason why he started training proper again, because I was just on him constantly to get back at it.
Sure.
Because he got me into it, so I felt like it was my job to give him a kick up the arse sort of thing.
Yeah, how strange that went full circle.
Yeah, crazy really. But probably went full circle in like a year, like him starting me and then him going off the boil and me obsessing over it. So yeah, makes a good story though, doesn't it?
It really does. And you both fought at FCC 25, is that right?
Yeah, we did. Both fought on the same card for the first time ever.
Amazing. And last one on Jamie before we move on. I believe he's got the is that right? He's got the fastest TKO in FCC history. Yeah, I
think he's got the fastest TKO and the fastest heel hook on his
resume.
His record now. On his resume, yeah, that's the one.
Nice.
So, he's not doing bad, the lad.
Nice. He's not doing bad. He's not doing bad at all. So since you took up martial arts at 21, how would you say it's positively impacted your life?
Made me a lot more respectful in some ways, not to like people, but just towards my attitude to life in general, really. Made me be more positive about stuff as well and give me like a clearer way of thinking. So I think it's just made me a all-round better person over the years now. Not that I was ever a bad person, but you know what I mean.
I was going to say, was that something that you struggled with before?
Not really, but I'm not going to lie to you. When I was like a teenager, I used to just go out drinking all the time and stuff, and you've not got a clear head when you're doing stuff like that. So, and obviously, when I'm training that and I'm not drinking and stuff like that, which like I rarely do anymore, then I've just got a clearer sense and your life's just more positive and better.
Yeah, I would agree with that. So what made you want to compete in the first place then, Sam?
Well, to be honest, I never really even had it in my head that I was going to at first. I just went down to training because I was just one of them little weird guys who like scrapping and stuff like that. And, so then I went down, and then I'd say like in the first few months, and like I was thinking, you know what, I'm actually like pretty good at this. And then it just went from there and that. And then, like I say, I got obsessed with it and kept going, putting the time in on the mats. And then I got to eventually where I wanted to be, which was competing.
Right. Was there that moment in the gym that you realized that you were ready?
I would say I felt ready, because even for my first fight, because at first you have them doubts, like, oh, I'm not ready, I'm fighting in front of people. It's like, which I don't have anymore, because it just is what it is now, and I've got the experience and that, so I'm not bothered. But at first you're like, I'm not ready. Have I done this right? Have I done that right? Have I done my weight cut right? Because it's all new to you.
Yeah.
But so yeah, that's that.
Do you have to cut a lot of weights to make bantamweight or not?
Nah, I walk about when I'm training. Obviously, with the gyms being shut now, I've not been doing as much training as I normally do, but still training. So I'm a bit heavier now. It's like 72 kilograms. But when I'm training properly, I'm about between 67 and 68.
Okay, so you're not cutting much.
Nah, not that much. I don't have bad weight cuts, really. I get there quite comfortably. Don't get me wrong, I'd rather be eating, like, but I get there comfortably.
Good for you. That's really good. And so looking at your first fight in 2017, what did you learn about yourself during that process?
The stuff you worry about, it doesn't really matter, because it's like you've got to get in there, and you've got to change your life around and change your lifestyle and stuff like that. So, like, because I used to proper care, like, what people are going to think. Like, are they going to think I'm good? Are they going to think, are they going to finger, or they're going to laugh at me or something like that? You know, what if I get knocked out in front of people? What if I get choked out? But it's just a sport at the end of the day, and I realise that now. But I just go in with a positive mind, know that I've trained as hard as I can, and it is what it is, whatever happens.
Yeah. And how did you feel getting that first W in your first fight? That's some achievement.
Best feeling in the world especially when you finish the fight, when you stop it before the distance. It's the best feeling ever. You just feel like you're on top of the world. I
know. That adrenaline is pumping.
Oh yeah, never felt anything like it. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I think it was after, I can't remember what fight it was. It was possibly after the Dylan Thompson fight. You threw your gum shield out. Did you get it back?
Yeah, I got it back. Someone picked it up.
You got it back? Okay,
I can't remember who picked it up, but someone did, and I got it back.
All right.
Yeah. It's weird. I mean, you do stuff in the moment, and you're just like when you watch it back, you're like, oh, why did I do that? But because it's just in the moment and your adrenaline's going.
Exactly. Completely out of character, eh?
Yeah, like you watch it back, sometimes I'm thinking, wow, I can't remember doing that.
Yeah, I bet. Wow. Yeah. What a feeling, man. What a feeling. So one thing that's clear is that you have such a diverse arsenal. I mean, you've got that range, you're comfortable on your back, you know, you're good in the grapple. How would you describe your fighting style to anyone that hasn't watched any of your fights before, Sam?
How would I describe it? I'm comfortable wherever it is, really. Like, more than comfortable. Like, I'm happy on the feet, I'm happy wrestling, I'm happy grappling, happy going for submissions. I'd say I'm a good all-rounder, but I'd say I've got like a grinding in your face style, really. Like, I'll stalk you and I won't give you a minute, you know what I mean?
Right. A bit like Khabib. Just grind you.
Sort of. Just not as good at wrestling as him.
Trying to think of the fight where you just took the guy's you just took the guy's will. You know, he just essentially gave up. Have you ever felt that from someone, that feeling of just taking away their will, taking away their confidence?
I've had it before in fights, like between rounds, when you look over and you can just tell they're done. Like, you can just tell they've got that doubt in their head and they look tired. They kind of look like they're looking for a way out, you know what I mean?
No, I do. Absolutely, my man. Absolutely. So coming back to that Dylan Thompson fight, which was your third amateur fight, whilst you dusted him off within 4 minutes, you went on record to say that was your toughest fight to date, with lots to work on. So what did you go away and work on?
What did I go away and work on? Well, because I got caught in that triangle for a bit, and because I'm a stubborn guy and I just won't give in, I was not tapping, even though I'm not going to lie, we were close to putting me out loads of times when I was in that. I'm not afraid to admit that. He's a good lad, Dylan, as well, still speak to him.
Yeah.
Probably learned that I was probably rushing too much, trying to rush. Like, if you watch the fight, I run out and I'm like bull rushing him straight away. Whereas I know, like I say, I'm in your face, but I was kind of rushing too much, if you know what I mean, and making little mistakes. So it was just to be a bit more methodical in the way I was approaching it and just take my time a little bit more.
Yeah, makes sense. Just to be a little measured.
Yeah.
Feel him out a little bit.
Yeah, rather than just going out like, trying to break hell loose in there. Just calm down a little bit and work the openings. Be a bit more clever, really, rather than just relying on my cardio.
Yeah, sure. I have to ask. So you said that you nearly tapped out from that triangle. Which one was you most close to tapping out to? That triangle from Dylan, or that rear naked choke from Sam? Because that rear naked choke from Sam was.
Yeah, it was
for me. That one was done. That one was done. How did you survive?
I'm trying to think. I was in the triangle for longer, to be fair, and I remember when I tried releasing me and a Rampage Jackson and slamming him, I just made it well tighter. So that was a mistake as well. I'd probably say I was panicking more in Dylan Thompson's triangle because I couldn't get him off me, whereas with the Sam Gittins one, I could grab his hands and stuff.
Yeah, you were fighting the hands, weren't you?
Yeah, I just had my chin strapped down, trying to pin his arm to me, and I was just fighting the hands, just trying to stay calm, listen to the corner. But yeah, I'd say I was panicking more in Dylan Thompson's triangle, though.
Okay, so
not panicking, because you've got to stay calm. That's the way you get out of them. Just stay calm, because I know some people, when they felt that triangle, like rear naked choke, they would have just tapped straight away. But
yeah, no. Given that situation, then Sam, what advice would you give someone? Because you found yourself, as I've mentioned, in some compromising positions, shall we say? So, what advice would you give someone who finds themselves in a submission?
You just don't panic. Just try and stay calm. You know, you're doing these things in training and learning the escapes for a reason. If you stay calm, obviously, sometimes if they're on. You're not going to get out of it if it's too late. You have got to act fast as well. But you're not going to act fast. You're not going to do the right actions if you're panicking. So just try and keep a clear head, stay calm, and then just think about what you're doing, like methodically, step by step. I need to do this. I need to do that. And that's pretty much that, really.
Mm-hmm. And then last question around the Dylan Thompson fights. So how much did him having you in that triangle contribute to that early stoppage in the second round?
Yeah, because of how long he had been in it, I think he gassed himself out a bit, because it's hard to keep onto a triangle for that long, because like I say, he was squeezing the shit out of me. But so I think he gassed himself out, and I think he was surprised that he didn't finish it. Like, of how stubborn I was in that, because that's one of them ones where I bet he finishes it in the gym all the time doing that exactly, but I'm not like everyone. And so yeah, I think he was like surprised, and he was tired, and he was like sort of thinking, wow, how have I not finished that? And it kind of threw him off a bit, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you mean. And that's and that was the point I was mentioning about taking someone's will. You just looked at him and he just had that surprise on his face, thinking, oh my God, I'm not ready for this second round.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think he was surprised he didn't finish it, and I think he did gas himself out a bit because of how long he was trying to get the triangle. But yeah, he's got good skills, Dylan, and he's a good lad, like I say. But yeah, that's how it happened on that night, in my eyes.
Yeah, great gym to aspire. Yeah. So looking at the Lewis Lofthouse fight, you dusted him off within 45 seconds, rear naked choke. But before that, he came out swinging with intent. And then in that first exchange, he felt your power, didn't like what he was feeling, tried to take it to the ground. And then that was ultimately his downfall. How do you remember that fight playing out?
You know what, mate? For that second fight, I was more nervous than the first one, because I felt like people were expecting something of me then. Whereas in the first one I never had a fight, and people like who hadn't trained me, like everyone who came watching, like they didn't kind of have no expectations about me. And in that second fight, like ever since then, I don't really get that nervous. I have in a few fights, like, well, but you just get in your own head. So I come out, and he kind of took me by surprise, to be honest, when he came just swinging for me, like sort of I weren't tuned in straight away. But then as soon as I switched it on, then that was good night to him.
Yeah, it was good night Vienna for sure.
Yeah.
So now we have to talk about that draw against Sam Gittins. I mean, for anyone that hasn't watched that fight, do yourself a favor, not right now, but after you've watched this interview, go and watch that fight against Sam Gittins. I mean, first of all, what an insane 3 rounds. That first round in particular was, crazy.
Yeah, the full pace of the fight for the 3 rounds was pretty mad when you watch it back at it. Like I've said it before,
unbelievable.
We're similar, me and him, the way we fight and that, and it was kind of like fighting a clone of myself in there. We're both 2 stubborn lads who got a good cardio, and we would have just stayed in there till one of us dropped dead if we had to.
Yeah, I mean there was scrambles and transitions galore.
Yeah, everywhere. I was trying to pull his arms off, trying to choke him out. He was trying to do the same to me. As a neutral, it was a belting fight to watch.
Incredible. First of all, did you feel the draw was the fair results?
Well, obviously, because that's the first fight I went the distance as well. And when you're in there, you feel it happens different, like to when you watch it back. You know what I mean? Because you're in the moment and stuff. And I don't know. I thought I might have just nicked it, but like I say, I don't know if that's just because I was being biased towards myself. But when I got the draw, I thought, fair enough. It was a good fight. Learned a lot from it, so it is what it is, sort of thing. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, I gave Sam Gittins the first round. I gave you the second round, and then I think it was the third round that was up for debates.
Yeah, well, there's a moment in the third round where I'm on top of him in like side control.
Sam Kelly's the one that's ended up on top. Yes, in the open half guard at the moment. Oh, but Gittins has bumped him over. There you go. Powered him over.
And he flips me over. And when I watched it back, I'm like, if I would have stayed on that side control and controlled him and he didn't flip me over, then I would have nicked it. So I feel like that's the exact moment in the fight what made it a draw in the end.
Right. That's interesting. And have you spoken to him since?
Yeah, I've speak to him since as well. Like another good lad, you know what I mean? When you fight people, you get a lot of respect for them, you know what I mean? Like, because there's probably, probably 1% of the world that are going to do it, step in there. Probably not even that. So yeah, you get a respect. You know what I mean? It's martial arts at the end of the day. It's about respect as well.
It really is. Only he can appreciate what you've been through, for the last 6 or 8 weeks and vice versa.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, we could see it at the end of the fight when we're both just buzzing, like, because we just had an absolute top scrap.
You really did. So how much did going the full distance in the previous fights help you in that fight against Sam Gittins?
Yeah, I forgot about that fight. Yeah, it probably helped me. I think I rushed into that one a bit too fast after the Dylan Thompson fight. I had a few little niggling injuries and stuff. So I felt like that wasn't one of my best performances, that one. I still nicked fight, but yeah, probably rushed into it a bit, and I had a few little niggles that I didn't get sorted out in time and stuff like that. But being me, I'm not going to pull out over something like that, you know what I mean?
Sure.
So yeah, but it definitely helped me, 100%, definitely.
Good. And when are you going to give us the rematch? we won the rematch.
I bet a lot of people want that rematch. I think even the commentator said it on the night.
He said it.
Yeah, I don't know how much sense it makes amateur with it not being for a belt or out. It was a good scrap, but you've got to learn your trade against different types of fighters, aren't you? So maybe once we're both in the pro ranks, we might get it on again, or maybe we will at amateur, who knows? But I'd accept it in an heartbeat if I got offered it, you know what I mean?
Sure. So looking at another possible rematch. So that fight against Chris Whitehead, which was your last outing. So yeah. What was your recollection of the fight up until that unfortunate upkick?
He just done what I thought he was going to do, really. He he tried to take it down. He took me down. Fair play to him. He won for 2 rounds, but I never felt in any danger in the fight. Like, he weren't hitting me. He wasn't trying to submit me. He was just literally, could feel how nervous and tense he was, just grabbing onto me. I was just quite relaxed, really, because I could tell he was going to gas himself out, and it was 5 rounds. Probably should have had a bit more urgency about me trying to get back to the feet and that, but with it being a 5-rounder and the way I could feel him going and the way he was breathing and stuff, I felt like it was wiser to do that at the time, which was probably wrong looking back now. And that first up kick, that buzzed him, like, I could see it in the panic in his eyes. And then, so he managed to stay on top of me. He fell directly on top of me, like, rather than to the side or anything like that. And he managed to cling on still like he does, because that's his game. But then obviously I timed the second one bad. I thought he was up on his feet, but he dropped down to his knees, and so I gave him a way out for an easy win, and he took it. But I don't feel like I lost. It was a weird feeling on the night. I was more angry with myself than anything. If I'd have got knocked out or submitted or pinned me down for 5 rounds and controlled me, then fair enough. And to see him celebrating with a belt after it, I was just like, oh my gosh, yeah, you're not even proper won it.
Yeah, I mean, fair play to you. Your sportsmanship at the end was impeccable. But I've heard Jamie's account on that second up kick, and he reckons that they called for you to do the up kick again, and he heard it. Yeah, and he heard it, and he came back down. He dropped his knees. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, like literally, it was probably just a couple of seconds, but the way he had me pinned, I couldn't tell. You know what I mean? Because he was like obviously pushing his hips into me. So I thought, right, the opening's here again. Let's rock and roll. And then as soon as I done it, I knew it was illegal because I was in his corner. I was like obviously pushed up against the fence in his corner, and I heard his corner going mad about it. I thought, yeah, it was illegal. That. Thinking I'm going to get a point knocked off here. And then when he stood up, his nose was splattered across his face.
Did you break his nose?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Unless it was bent beforehand and I didn't realise, but
fair enough. And is that rematch on the cards?
Well, hopefully, it was definitely being spoke about for the next FCC to get the rematch going, because obviously it ended on not a sour note, but it's not how anyone wants a fight to end, really, is it?
No.
He was on about, well, yeah, he must have broke his nose. He was saying he'd have to let his nose heal. So after all this, and we get back to fight shows up and running, I think his nose will definitely be healed then. So let's get it on. Yeah.
And would that be the first fight that you'd want to return back to competition?
Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm training, I'm fit and that. So I wouldn't say it's not a layoff, is it? And it's the same for everyone else at the minute. So yeah, that's what I'd want next. Let's end it properly, because it didn't end on a proper note, did it?
No, I'm just wondering, in case he feels that he's not ready, are you prepared to wait for him, or are you prepared to take another fight?
No, I'll take another fight. If he don't want it, he don't want it, though. I can't make him fight me again. But hopefully he does. He said on the night he'd give me the rematch, so hopefully he sticks to his word and we get it on and do it proper.
Hopefully so. So last question before we move on to your Flash 5. What are your MMA ambitions and goals now? I mean, do you have one eye on the professional scene?
Yeah, definitely. I want to get to some of the top promotions at some point. UFC, Bellator, something like that. I want to fight overseas and stuff like that, you know, see a bit of the world while doing something that I love. That is the ultimate goal, but it's obviously one step at a time, but that is definitely the ultimate goal that I'm working towards.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, you've got another Mancunian Bantamweight champion in Cage Warriors in Jack Cartwright.
Yeah, he's a good fighter, man. I was at the Cage Warriors Unplugged when he knocked the 2 lads out on the night.
Yeah.
Wow. He has got some scary power in.
Wow. Well, where do you think you are in comparison to someone like Jack?
Well, he's like probably 2. Well, he's been training since he was a kid, because I've watched an interview on here. But in terms of like where he is in the pros, he's like a couple of years in front of me in it. So I don't think we'll be bumping into each other anytime soon.
Cool. Very honest as always. Right. Yeah. So we now move on to the final part of the show, Sam, which is your flash fives. So I ask you 5 questions and you simply give me your best answer.
Let's go.
Let's go, man. So, number 1, who would you love to compete against, dead or alive?
Dead or alive. Frankie Edgar, because he's dropping down, and I've said it in my last interview before FCC, so I'll stick with that one.
The answer, Edgar.
Yeah.
Do you think you got the answer for him?
Not yet. Not yet.
Not yet. Fair enough.
But
Again,
I'd give it
honest.
a go. I'd give it a go.
I'm sure you will, mate. I'm sure you will. Your ideal way to finish an opponent?
I've got a good arsenal of submissions, so and I like the control of the submission. But yeah, I'd say a good like little slick submission. I like.
Nice. What specific combat sport bout would you have loved to have been a part of?
What do you mean, like compete in it or in the build up to it? Or
No,
what?
to actually compete in.
To actually compete in it.
Yeah.
I think. Trying to think. Cruz and Dillashaw. That was a good fight. We'll say that one.
That was good. Yeah, I think Cruz just won that split decision, didn't he?
Yeah, it was a mint fight. Good fight, that. So
yeah,
that
was
that one.
Yeah, that was proper. That was proper. What superpower would you have?
Superpower. Time travel, so I could start MMA sooner.
Haha, good one. Yeah, you and me both. And then the final one, Sam. What one rule in MMA, either at the amateur level or professional level, would you change?
In the amateurs, I'd change the no knees to the head like it used to be, because I just don't see the point when you're allowed to kick them in the head. Obviously, I understand elbows because they slice you up and you don't want all that scar tissue early. But yeah, I think when you're allowed to head kick, you might as well be allowed to knee in the head as well.
And the professionals?
Professionals, probably the 12-6 elbow. I think it's a bit of a mad rule, really. You can rein them in from everywhere else, but you can't from that one. Right.
Okay. No, brilliant. Well, that's us, Sam. I really, really appreciate your time.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it, and thanks for having me, mate.
You're more than welcome. Thank you very much for coming on. So, everyone, that's episode 3 as a wrap. And again, thank you to everyone for watching Flash Knockdown, the show that engages with people of the combat sports world. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Sam.
Thank you very much, mate.
Thank you.
Nice chatting to you.